So the question of the hour was, were we gonna have to mini bat M Night Shyamalan's knees for his latest offering? Because let's face it, for the last decade or so,
It's been
even longer,
stinking like a wiener.
yeah, he's been offering up some stinkers. Shall we recap some of those? The Happening, aka Bad Acting Central,
Yeah.
After Earth, aka Nobody Cares,
Freaking no one cared.
and Last Airbender.
That was a
Way
good
to
one.
way to ruin a show,
It smelled like farts.
and all that other crap that he spewed out. But last year saw the release of The Visit, which injected some hope into some people's minds. I know it did in my mind. It gave me a little bit of hope for him. I didn't love the movie. I especially hated those kids. They were annoying as hell.
Stunk.
But the premise was cool, and it was a step in the right direction for sure. So this brings us to Split, which, as a friend of mine said, he was hoping would divide audiences just so they could say
The reception was split.
yes. But I think it's. I don't know. I haven't read the reviews, but I don't see it splitting many audiences. This is actually, for me anyway, a genuinely good movie. Now, to give you some context, we came out of watching a fucking fantastic movie, which was La La Land, and we didn't feel like watching another movie after
Nah,
that
I
because,
was like, freaking dude, Shyamalan's gonna screw us in the ass again.
yeah, really anybody. It could have been like God himself directed a movie, and
True.
after La La Land, I would have been like, let me wait a little bit. But since I work, I said, we better get this out of the way. Plus, it just came out, so might as well put that up. And accolades to M. Night because he managed to take me out of this zone that I was in from La La Land pretty quickly and get me into the groove of his movie. Now, for those of you that don't know, the movie is about a man that has, as the title suggests, split personality disorder or dissociative identity disease or disorder. I'm sorry, and he has 23 different personalities, each one different, and each one with its own ability, so to speak. And he is being treated by a doctor who has pointed out or is trying to prove to her colleagues that, in fact, this disorder can point perhaps to a higher order of existence, one where we tap into our full human potential, because as her patient, this character, who is known by many names, but whose original name is Kevin,
Is he a squid man?
he is Squid Man.
Oh, shit.
No, but he has shown above all her other patients that each personality develops its own qualities, either mental, physical, or otherwise. And so he's an interesting case for her. The problem is he has these personalities in his, many personalities that are much more, shall we say, aggressive or possibly malignant, because they're all a mode for him to cope with the trauma that started with his childhood and continued as he found himself to be quite futile at adapting to life. They're all a method for him to cope with life, and some of them are much more aggressive than others. And the problem, or the premise of the movie, is that these more aggressive personalities have taken over. And the kicker is that they are ushering in or calling for the arrival of a new personality, as it were. One that will be the perfect iteration or step up and evolvement of their state of being. And they call it the Beast. So the premise of the movie has some people that are being abducted or plucked from society as an offering to the Beast by these personalities. And then we have the drama that ensues therein in their capture, with the doctor that treats him finding, basically she knows from the get-go what's going on, or she suspects, and starts to try to piece together a thing without setting him off, and blah blah blah. And basically it's a kind of a thriller, a dramatic thriller, and it builds on suspense. And the real linchpin of the whole thing is McAvoy's performance, which is amazing, man. I mean, the guy manages to basically switch out. He's basically playing.
He was the best actor in the movie.
Yeah,
because there were some stinkers in there, but
uh,
he was consistently good.
yeah, he's pretty much amazing in the movie. I mean, I really can't say much more than if he
Guy can
hadn't.
like turn on the switch, like he'll freaking turn his like face and his voice, and you'll be like, yeah, it's a different person.
Yeah.
Like it actually convinces you that it's a
So
different character.
had somebody not been able to do this movie would have fallen apart
They would
immediately.
have stunk hardcore.
So many accolades to James McAvoy, who did a fantastic job pinning this character down. And so anyway, the setup is basically these people have to find a way out while juggling his many
It's
personalities.
basically, I mean, really, when you cut down to it, it's pretty simple. Creepy guy must escape.
It is, but there is a parallel storyline going on here that makes it all the richer, because at the same time there's three people that he abducts, and then one of them has a past that is also riddled with childhood trauma, and she has found a way to cope like he has with his personalities, but in a completely different way. So in reality, there's two parallel storylines going on at the same time, and they come to a head at the end. And man, I mean, I don't want to ruin the end. I won't ruin the end, but let's just say that the end to the movie happens, but then there's a coda ending, so to speak, another ending, an additional ending that sets up something completely different, or I wouldn't say sets up, I guess sets up, but harkens back to something. And it all ties into what is going on in the movie. And but anyway, these parallel storylines happen, and basically you have two instances of childhood trauma, one developing in one vein and one developing in this very extreme vein, the 23 personalities. And this ultimate coming of this 24th personality is, of course, the big thing at the end, the big face-off between this parallel storyline and this person. And it's really well played. I thought the suspense was drummed up just fine, and he did a fantastic job in bringing. I mean, these are actual. This is an actual disorder, and these a lot of the cases and in things, and then I'm sorry, things. I'm running out of words here. A lot of cases have demonstrated that things like this do happen, that people develop different physical abilities or mental capacities, etc., or even illnesses and what have you for different personalities. And he used this as a realistic foundation to basically inject this 24th personality into the picture. And it's all for a purpose. And I can't say that purpose because it will ruin that awesome ending.
Now, I want to say that for me personally, it does get to a point where it was starting to get kind of ridiculous towards the end, but then that little ending kind of caps it off nicely, and you're like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah,
That's cool.
I could see some people finding the 24th personality to be a bit much. I didn't, because it was developed so well. You know,
it's not like bad. I wouldn't say it was bad, but there was some points where you're like,
What we know from the character is that he's developed these personalities as a coping mechanism, and they're usually triggered by his environment. And that's kind of a thing that's held back throughout the movie, where he's working triggered this personality. I figured it out from like the moment I saw the front gate. I was like, oh, he works at there. I won't say where, but I don't see why they held it back. I mean, really, it wouldn't have mattered. It wouldn't matter because it's just integral to that particular thing. But it is essential to that personality. So I can see some people being turned off. Maybe some people thinking, "Oh, is he actually supposed to be that?" No, I mean, it's explained why psychologically he can achieve these things.
Yeah, they do explain it and stuff.
Yeah,
but there's a few things like a knife breaks on him. I was like,
I mean, well, yeah. See, like that stuff is explained.
It's explained, but at the same time, there's still a little bit of like. You know?
For me, it didn't bother me.
No, it didn't. So, it's not like it's bad. I'm not saying it's bad.
So I'm gonna say that perhaps but I can see your point of view.
Yeah, some people.
Perhaps for some people, what? I'll say it like this: perhaps the realistic approach to the psychological aspect might take a sharp turn there for
Yeah,
them.
yeah, exactly.
You know?
Because everything's kind of treated.
I can see that.
Everything's kind of treated like realistically.
Yes.
And then suddenly he's got like veins and he's like a knife breaks on him and you're
But-
like, what? But then it's capped off nicely.
When you see that ending, you
Yeah.
go, "Oh, holy shit!" And I'm just gonna say there was a collective "holy shit" in the fucking audience, and you
there
know,
was even a couple Watas.
yes, there was definitely. I did a what the. I mean, I didn't do a Frank Reynolds what the, but I definitely, you know, uttered a
You
what
internally
the fuck.
Watad.
Yeah, it was that ending
It was
really.
cool, yeah, it was cool.
And
Now-
just to clarify, I'm sorry. Just to clarify, it's not a twist ending.
No,
like
no,
a
no.
Shyamalan twist ending. No.
It's more like, oh, that's neat.
Yes. In fact, as the movie was winding down, or rather, once it was evident that the movie's
There really
prime
isn't
thrust
like
was-
twists.
yeah, once
Yeah.
it was evident the movie had come to its culmination, I was like internally thinking, I'm glad he didn't do a twist ending because people got to stop expecting
Yeah.
that. But then they added this ending, which is not
Not twist.
a twist. It
It actually
adds to
kinda-
the fabric of this
It adds
and
it
something
adds,
else.
It adds something, and it kind of makes whatever little worries of where you're like, oh, that's ridiculous.
Yes.
Go away.
Yeah.
Because like at points towards the end, I was like, wow, this took a weird. It's not that it takes a weird turn. It's just that it takes a weird turn because it's treated so not insanely. I don't know what I'm trying to say. You know what I mean, though, right?
Yeah. Like I said, for some people, it might be like, wow, this was so based on a realistic approach,
Yeah,
and all of a
and
sudden
then
it takes
suddenly
this
it's-
kind of sharp turn, and not a ridiculous sharp turn.
No.
Just it is a sudden turn. But when that ending happens,
You're like,
you,
oh, that
you
makes sense.
understand, and you're like, man. So if you like Shyamalan's early work, this is definitely a return to form.
Despite the fact that there's a chick that has the worst delivery in that scene.
Yeah, that's
Whew, that was
right
bad.
before that awesome ending.
I was about to go, Foo!
The chick that delivers the line
The
right
setup
before,
line?
yeah,
Yeah.
The setup line, she's like the
She
worst
was
actress
bad.
ever. But
I
that
personally,
being said,
I personally had a few troubles with the movie, a few problems. They're small. I didn't really like the way the doctor was played. I think she
oh
was
yeah,
kinda- she was
I
kinda-
loved her, man. I
I
thought she was great.
kinda not great.
What did you like about her?
Just the way she delivered lines was kind of lame.
I liked it.
I mean, the character's cool, but I think the actress wasn't.
I
that
think
great.
the way she delivered lines, especially in her interactions with the McAvoy
Though
character.
that stuff was good, but because McAvoy was in it. But like when she was alone, it was kind of like whoa. Especially like when Shyamalan and her were talking, I was like, wow, that's bad.
yeah, that
That's really bad.
Shyamalan cameo was kind of odd. I mean,
It wasn't good.
Yeah, it was.
It's not like terrible, but it was
No.
like wow.
But I loved her
Like
myself.
the stuff with her and him was good. Thankfully, there was a lot of that. But whenever she was like alone, I was like, this chick's not a great actress.
yeah,
And then
I disagree myself. I loved her,
of course,
but that's me.
the terrible delivery chick at the end. But I mean, it was fine. There's just little problems. It's not something that would make me go, that stinks. You know, it's just something that was like, that could have been a little better.
Okay.
I guess if you want to be critical, you want to find something critical to find. I personally thought the chick kind of wasn't that great. But the stuff with McAvoy and her is great. So
If I had to have one criticism, is the lines at the beginning with not the main character, not the main female lead, but the other two. Females.
yeah, the teens
Well,
talking.
I'm just gonna say that Shyamalan should probably stay away from writing teens.
It wasn't
and
as cringy as other stuff I've seen, but it wasn't.
It wasn't as cringy as The Visit, where he
Yeah.
tried to write kids, and it just did not work.
They
man.
weren't. Thankfully, they weren't terrible.
No, it was just a few lines in the
Yeah.
car, and after that, it was fine. But the main female lead is fine, and she's also important for what is. Again, I can't say. Just watch the movie. That it is if you like Shyamalan's early work, it is a return to
I also want to
form.
say that I personally thought that some of those suspense, little like long spells of nothing, which is great in that kind of movie. Some of them went a little long, where it kind of felt like they were just padding it a little. But that was just in the moment. But you know, like most of it worked. There was just a few where I was like, okay, this could have been a little shorter. But
I
I thought that the third act went on a little long. Because the first act was so good, or the first two were so good.
having experienced Shyamalan's other stuff, I think this was actually his quickest to the point movie. I actually was like, that's pretty odd that he's getting so quick to everything.
Yeah, I just thought that like the last bit when the beast comes out and he's terrorizing people, I thought that wasn't done as well as the previous stuff, where it wasn't really as thrilling as the others. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
It wasn't bad. Again, it was just it could have been a little better.
Well, yeah, I could see your point. I mean, I disagree myself, but I could see where you're coming from. I disagree because at that point there's no need for suspense because the suspense was the build up to that. But I could see what you're
like the build up to it was so good that at that point you're like, oh, you could have at least made this a little shorter to fit the get to the point structure of the early movie, I guess.
All right, yeah, I can see that.
I mean, it's nothing bad.
I'm gonna stand on the opposite of that because this was for me like it went like this. But yeah, I could see where you're getting at. But anyway, at the end of the matter, what matters is I'm gonna say that this is a return to form for Shyamalan. I'm glad to see he can do something well again.
It's pretty good. I'm not like I said. I'm not gonna say it's like amazing, but it was pretty damn entertaining. It was fun.
Yeah, it was a blast.
Cool.
It was a blast.
And that little end was like, oh,
and that
cool.
ending is
that's
pretty
neat.
much a nut tickler. It's awesome. So check it out, man. If you had your doubts,
it was a solid film.
give it a check. I'm gonna give it a good. I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10 because it pleased me.
Yeah, I'll give it like 7.5.
Yeah,
it was
pretty
good.
cool.
It
So
was good.
check it out. Split, where we split on it a little bit, but pretty much agreed that it kicked ass. This is Ahab.
It was pretty good. It was pretty good.
This is the Goontick.
Watch La La Land.
Watch La La Land.
Watch this too.
Watch this. Don't mini bat M Night.
Leave a wata in the comments.
Yeah. Wata.